You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Yes, I am here.
Jeffrey Wagstaff.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. I wish you guys were privy to what happens behind the scenes, because it's such an exciting program, and I'm surrounded by such a great group of people. So a shout out to WeBeam TV for our stream, and Merida Sensulo for tweet and Facebook and all our social media. She's totally awesome. With that said, we have Ben Jacobson, videographer extraordinaire. This man is amazing. With that being said, the Bonati Spine Institute is the one that set the standard for minimally invasive spine surgery. There's nothing else on the market except traditional surgery where they fillet you either down the front or down the back, and they put you completely under, and you have no idea if you're going to be better or not. Well, Dr. Bonati started in traditional surgery. He saw those problems and the pitfalls for the patients when they went through those procedures, and it bothered him. It disheartened him. So he got out of it, and then he developed the targeted and exclusive patented Bonati spine procedures. He has exclusive instrumentation and methods nobody else in the whole world has except him. So if somebody tries to confuse you or confuse you and tell you you need hardware, you need plates, you need screws, well, you should run the other way and go look up Bonati, and you can do that at Bonati.com. They've gotten people out of wheelchairs and back on their feet. With that said, we have an exciting program. We had Melody Griffin. She's going to be on. She heard us talking about childhood obesity before, and she has some more information to offer.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We had a guest on a couple of months back talking about the Goldilocks syndrome, where parents seem to always think that their child's weight is they're okay, they're fine, they're just right, whether they're way overweight or underweight. Melody works a lot with children and heard the interview and contacted us and wanted to just kind of jump in on the discussion.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have Charlie Watchtell, a double kidney survivor who escaped death twice. Twice. So that's going to be an exciting story. But up first,
in today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
It is my pleasure to introduce to the program Bert Rum-Hines from Florida. So thank you for joining us.
Okay.
How you doing, Bertram?
Fine.
All right.
I saw your interview when you were on our television program, but for those that are listening now to the radio show and didn't see it, you had a couple surgeries at the Bonati Spine Institute, but why don't you tell us how you came to be in pain? Was it something degenerative, or were you in a couple accidents? Explain that to us.
Yes, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. My name is Bertram Hines. I was first introduced to the Bonati Institute in 2002.
Okay.
I had a herniated slip disc through a car accident on the New Jersey Turnpike, incidentally coming down here from New York to Florida to check things out, my house. And that happened, and I was in severe pain, and I went to chiropractors. I went to all over the place. I couldn't get any relief. So when I was living here in Palm Coast, Florida, after a few months, I happened to read in the papers about a symposium that was being held at a hotel in Palm Coast, the Sheraton, which is no longer in existence. And through curiosity, I said, okay, let me go up there and check things out. To my surprise, I saw people with crutches. I saw people with walking canes. I said, my God, what am I? So making a long story short, the program started, and what impressed me was that they showed you actually people being taken in on gurneys into the institute, doing some procedure and walking out unassisted.
Right.
And you must have been
amazing.
blown away by that, Bertram.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, you must have been blown away by that to see that sort of success.
Totally blown away. Totally blown away.
Yeah.
So what did you do from there?
Again, I was skeptical because my friends were saying, boy, it is your back and this and that and the other and whatnot. So I ventured again and I went down to the institute and another set of lectures and stuff was going on. And then what really made me made up my mind about having it done was when they showed me how the conventional procedure is done, like they cut you like a hamburger roll,
Yes.
slice you up, and
The traditional
it takes
surgery.
so much time to heal and whatnot. So I said, okay, I'll take a chance. So my wife and myself, we came down to the institute, rented a little bungalow right up the street, and I came in.
When you walked in, I mean, I know you said you were skeptical at first, and then the pain persisted, so that's what brought you in.
Oh yes. I was actually crawling and holding on. I mean, I was in bad shape.
What did the pain feel like? Was it a localized pain? Where were you feeling that pain?
The herniated slip disc was in my back and on my left side.
Okay.
My left hip.
Okay.
And I guess it run all the way down my leg and that type of thing.
Okay.
Making me unable to really walk.
Got it.
You know, and the chiropractors, they tried
Right.
to no result. So I went in and the procedure was done. And just like what I saw on the documentary,
Right.
they said, get up. And I went into the recovery area. And after maybe an hour or so, I got up. And they said, okay, you would have to take therapy, which was walking on the treadmill, very slow.
Right.
Then after that, I went in to the malls and did my little walking and whatnot. But again, what impressed me was that this incision was, like I said, just about an inch.
Yeah.
And the Band-Aid that they put on.
Yeah.
I went across US 19 and I couldn't get the same size. Eckerd's drugstore, I remember that. So I got the smallest thing and fortunately there was maybe on the bandage after I changed it was nothing but a slight drop of blood. I mean, nothing.
Insignificant.
I did not take no painkillers. I guess it's just my particular system. I was in no pain.
That's fantastic.
I was in no pain whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I was even skeptical about the therapy that I was getting. Why do I have to walk so slow? Why? Take your time and walk. Take your time.
He's like, I can run.
And that was no repercussions or anything. I didn't have to go back, and
And
so that was my first experience. And then I started telling people about what, my experience and this and that and the other, and I have been converted, so to speak.
Well, then you were doing well, and that was in 2002. You get into a second car accident in 2014. Now
this wasn't a car accident. I don't know how this happened.
In the second one.
Right. I would assume that I was carrying something over my shoulder, like a heavy backpack.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought it was. And then
okay.
suddenly I got this pain around my left side again on my groin. I mean, it was another. But then I spoke with you.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Spondylolisthesis? He said
Yeah.
there was a very, very long, and I'm trying to think back in the
Right.
medical terms and what we
Right,
treat,
right.
How
and
many
I
we
said it,
know.
and he
Right.
said yes.
So you
It was a pinch nerve in my leg,
Okay.
all the way down to my toe.
Ooh, ouch.
Pinch, and then I started again with chiropractic.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I'm saying to myself, how would this? And because I'm seeing
Right.
it with the MIR,
MRI?
and I'm seeing where it is pinched. I said, but
Uh-huh.
in my mind, what kind of exercises or
Right.
therapy would give me
Right.
relief? I want permanent relief. I
Correct.
just don't want no. So again, my mind snapped. I say,
Bonatti.
Bonatti, here I come.
So you come in, you meet Dr. Bonatti. You
second time.
Exactly. So you go into surgery. Did you watch? You watched
This was
Uh-huh.
entirely different.
the conscious
First
IV
time I
sedation?
was completely out.
Were you?
This time I was partially,
Uh-huh.
and I was seeing everything.
You were
He was
talking.
talking to me. He wanted me to talk to him.
Yes.
Do I feel this? Do I feel that? Tell me what is it? Tell me this and tell me that. And I'm looking and looking and looking and looking and
When did you feel relief?
I feel relief as soon as when the procedure was finished.
See, so
All
right
right.
there.
And this time the therapy was even different.
Okay.
I had a granny nanny,
Oh, okay.
somebody to assist me.
Caregiver.
Right. And we went, right down there. There's a little,
Mm-hmm.
there's a seashore
Okay.
area.
Oh, sure.
Right, and that's where I actually went. I had to go and take a walk right off the bat.
Wow.
Take a walk for half an hour.
So
Three-fourths of an hour.
So right away, you felt relief right there, right after the procedure. Then no sooner do you leave, you're walking for half an hour
He's good to go.
right
Yeah.
after that. So,
Yes, slowly, but
Surely.
well, see, that's the benefit of the conscious IV sedation, where you're awake, aware, alert, and in communication with your surgeon,
Yeah.
and you can watch your procedure.
yeah,
That's right. So how you feeling today, Bertram? You still good?
good. And then after the next day, I went back to the institute. They asked me
Right.
if everything was okay. I
Uh-huh.
said yes. And I came from Palm Coast via Daytona Beach. The guy, friend that brought me down, and he drove back to Daytona Beach,
Right.
and I got in the car, and I drove myself home.
Wow. Look at that.
Well,
Amazing results. As usual.
well, we're about out of time, Bertram, but continued good health.
Yes.
You're such an amazing man, and I love your story. Thank you so much for taking the time to share it with us.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have
You
a good
take
one,
care.
sir.
Okay, good, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, if you or someone you know is suffering like that, you don't need to wait decades to come seek relief. And if you've had things like screws and plates and rods put in, and if they're mangled and tangled in your nerves, run to Bonatti. You can reach them at Bonatti.com or 855-267-0483. Coming up after the break, Melody Griffin talking about childhood obesity. Make sure you stay tuned.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone.
nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You are listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell alongside Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here.
And Jeff Wagstaff.
Thank you for having me.
Well, childhood obesity is a continuing epidemic in the U.S. and a topic that we discussed at length just a few months back. After our last conversation, we were contacted by Melody Griffin, a childhood wellness consultant with WellConnect near Orlando, Florida. She heard our first interview on it, and she had some important information to add. So thank you for joining us, Melody.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And just to refresh people's memory, including you guys, if you
Goldilocks
didn't know,
syndrome.
Dr. Dustin Duncan, a couple months back, he did a study where I think it was like a 20-year study, too. It was a long-term study where they interviewed thousands of parents and children and this and that. What he found was an interesting, almost psychological phenomenon that he dubbed the Goldilocks syndrome. And what it is, in essence, is parents always think their child, no matter if they're way overweight or even underweight, which hardly ever happened. It was mostly the chubby, overweight kids. The parents thought, no, their weight's fine. It's just right. So,
they'll grow out of it.
Yeah, they'll be okay. So he called it the Goldilocks syndrome. That's the interview that Melody heard. So what were your thoughts when you heard that interview, Melody?
Yeah, I completely agreed with it. We see so many parents throughout Florida, throughout the country, that have children that are not at a healthy weight or just maybe at a healthy weight but aren't doing healthy habits, and they don't realize it, or if they do, they're at a loss for where to go for resources, and they just kind of throw their hands up in the air and give up because they find it to be very difficult.
Well, I also think a lot of it too, and this came up in the last interview, is I think it's just the culture that we live in America, too. It's so politically correct. You can't say somebody's fat anymore. You're fat shaming them. Every kid gets a participation trophy because everybody's little snowflake is just perfect. And, just the way you are, that's fine. And again, I'm a guy who doesn't have kids. So I guess I can't relate to having kids and what you need to do. But I like to think that if I had kids and, I'd slap the Twinkie out of their hand and be like, you're getting fat. What are you doing, bro? You know what?
Or you make him get up off the couch and get outside and run around a bit.
Throw the ball.
Something really dawned on me. We've been in the Tampa market now for about 5 years. We live in a relatively new development that all the homes have just been sold. Throughout the weekends, I don't see a kid in our neighborhood ever. But for Halloween, I thought we'll have a few kids. The neighborhood was mobbed. And if you think back to when we were all kids, You knew every kid in your neighborhood because everybody was out. They were on their bikes, they were on their skateboard, they were walking around.
I had to be dragged back inside.
You don't see kids outside. They're in front of the computer. They're in front of their
More
video
sedentary
games.
lives.
Yeah.
And now it seems like that you see so many young children due
Overweight.
to that lifestyle and processed foods that are just obesely overweight.
And this is a multi-layered onion, and what we talk about today will just scratch the surface. There are so many contributing factors, and exactly what you're talking about when you see the lack of social engagement, when you see the over-processed foods, where you see kids with lack of physical activity. It's all creating this acceptance of overweight kids, and the parents aren't recognizing that. What we need to do is continue to advocate for healthier lifestyles that are promoted through our homes, but also through our schools, through our faith-based organizations, through our after-school programs, where the healthy choice becomes the easy choice and the fun choice for our kids, so they don't feel like they're isolated when they actually do try to live a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
Well, and you're a wellness consultant, and you actually helped develop a program called Action for Healthy Kids. Tell us a little bit about that, Melody.
Well, Action for Healthy Kids is actually, I'd love to take credit for developing it. It's one of my clients. So Action for Healthy Kids is a national nonprofit run out of Chicago, and they have state coordinators for each of our states. And in Florida, Action for Healthy Kids works on helping districts. So at our district level, creating really robust, in-depth wellness policies so that schools can create these cultures of health so kids are healthy and ready to learn. And not only kids, but our staff and our parents. You know, it takes a village, right? So we need to ensure that there are healthy role models, that these kids have access to healthy food within the schools, that they have access to physical activity. One of the hot buttons in Florida right now is mandatory recess. So there's a bill both in the Florida House and the Florida Senate that's proposing mandatory daily recess for 20 minutes for K through 5, so all of our elementary schools.
I agree with that, Melody, because I remember a few years back, and I'm not sure if it was statewide or where it was, but they were trying to eliminate, or no, they made it like optional. Gym class, phys ed. So if a kid didn't want to participate in gym, they didn't have to. And I just thought they need to get off the butts. And to me, gym was the best part of the day. You get to hang out with your buddies and shoot hoops and play basketball. And
well, it's a cultural thing. I think for the most part, everyone sees little kids and you want to meld them into young adults so early, and they're taking the fun away. And we need to let them run around and burn energy.
That's exactly right. If we were to go as adults to a conference for a day or go to a day-long training, if there was not a break, we would never return to that conference or that training.
Correct.
And we're expecting that of our kids. They learn in silence. They go to lunch in silence. And many kids don't get the opportunity to have PE or to have recess. Now, it's very clear to make a distinction between recess and PE. We do have a state mandate in Florida for 150 minutes of PE per week for K through 5.
Okay.
But there is no mandate for recess. So while some kids are getting the 150 minutes of PE is very different. It's structured.
Yes.
They're learning mechanics. They're actually tested on PE topics that they learn.
Okay.
Recess is
fun.
Social development. It's free time. It's where they get to be kids and recharge.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And they need it.
Yeah, they certainly do, because then, especially when it's like that all day where the kids don't get break, they don't get to blow off steam, they don't get to have fun.
Where's their let out?
Well, then they get home and the parents have to deal with it, them bouncing off the walls. Well, Melody, we're basically out of time. If parents want to learn more about your programs and things like that, where can they go?
They can go to www.actionforhealthykids.org, or just basically do a Google search. And at the end of the day, we encourage parents to join their schools' wellness teams or to be a voice. This recess bill came about because parents were concerned and parents drove this. So if they want to create healthy cultures, they can do it. Just speak up.
Thank you so much. Melody Griffin, a childhood wellness consultant with WellConnect near Orlando, Florida. Thank you so much for keeping our kids healthy and in shape.
Thanks, Melody.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good one.
Well, coming up, we have Charlie Wachtel, a double kidney failure survivor who escaped death not once, but twice. And he's here to expose what he calls the kidney dialysis industry. Make sure you stay tuned. You're listening to American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our executive radio producer, Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here.
Well, it's an interesting topic.
It is.
We have Charlie Wachtel, a double kidney failure survivor who escaped death twice from his illness. Now, he acts as an advocate for fellow kidney patients who feel like they have no voice against the rigid medical community, and he's here to expose what he calls the kidney dialysis industry. So welcome to the show, Charlie.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that that you had to go through what you were thinking was like kidney failure
twice.
times.
Yeah, tell us your story, Charlie, and why you decided to become an advocate for kidney patients.
Yeah, basically, this started 7 years ago, and there was a toxic buildup in my body that manifested itself over about a 4-month period, beginning in February of 2008 through about May of 2008. It was in June that I just decided I had to go into the hospital because I was getting sicker and sicker, and I was actually a day away from dying. That's how close it was. So I actually know what death is now because I've been so close to it.
Right.
I was in the hospital for 11 days and then got involved with peritoneal dialysis, which is a form of dialysis that I think I sent a video on to you where you do it out of the house and it's done on a machine. So basically, I did everything like that for 6.5 years, all myself, every single day. Never missed a day. I couldn't miss a day. You have to do it every single day.
Let me, Charlie, let me back up for just a quick second. When you started to feel ill, what did it feel like? I mean, for those who may be starting to go through kidney failure, what are the symptoms and what were you feeling?
Well, that's an excellent question and excellent observation on your part. Now, what happens is that, as I mentioned, it's a toxic buildup. So, for example, in my legs, I could feel like there was a strap going around my kneecaps maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 times. A strap just going around and around to a point where I couldn't even walk. If I had to go to the bathroom, I would have to literally take a carriage from my parking spot and walk with the carriage to the building to go inside. I couldn't even walk on my own. Wow. So it had gotten really bad. I didn't know what it was. It came out of nowhere. Little did I know that because I was born into diabetes and high blood pressure on both sides of my family, mother and father, that these were the two leading causes of kidney failure. So I happened to be born with the daily double, unfortunately.
Wow, that's not a good one to have.
But my background was health and wellness. A personal fitness trainer, a natural bodybuilder. How could this happen to me? Well, genetically, it did.
Well, that was going to be my next question too. And sorry, Kimberly, were you overweight? I mean, you tend to think of certain factors. People who don't exercise, they smoke, they drink a lot, they're overweight. You just basically answered my question. You were in good shape at the time?
Yeah, I was in relatively good shape. Wasn't competing at all at that time. I had my own business. But the major reason was stress. There was a lot of stress being involved as an entrepreneur. I had a taxi cab business I was running. So that was really, but aside from the genetic factors, the stress was the real reason. And when I was supposed to have a dentist appointment in April of that year, he looked at me and said, you don't look too good. They took my blood pressure reading. It was 250 over 160. Wow. That was pretty much like death was rolling over me at that point. So
I need to ask you, you talk about fluid overload. What type of fluid are you talking about? And then what other areas in the body can you see that maybe this is happening to you? Are there areas of body to watch so you can understand if maybe kidney failure has started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, again, with the fluid overload, it's just excess fluid that travels to different parts of the body now, and it has no way of going out of the body because your kidneys, which helps in the for urine to go out of the body. Well, now there's toxins that are building up in the body because you sort of blocked certain areas from moving the right way. So that causes a toxic overload in the body. And when this happens, this can lead to stroke, it can lead to heart failure, in my case, trouble breathing, swelling in different areas, like in my knees. So the warning signs were there. Again, this came out of the clear blue. Because you can develop this over time, or you can develop it acutely where it just sort of happens for whatever reason. And in my case, because of high blood pressure.
Okay. Are there certain foods that cause this problem?
Oh, absolutely. You really do have to watch your sodium and obviously your sugar. These are the two diabetes, high blood pressure, sugar, salt. What's in all of your foods? Sugar and salt. You have to watch, there are foods that are associated with potassium, foods that are associated with what's called phosphorus. Phosphorus are the bones in your body, potassium being the minerals in your foods.
Sure.
So see, I think of potassium. When someone says potassium, I immediately think bananas. Are there any other foods that people need to be careful eating too many of?
Yes. Well, especially when you have this, you have to watch out with orange juice, with potatoes, as you mentioned, bananas. Those really are the big three. But there's a list of others that you have to be careful about. But those are the big three. With potassium, with the phosphorus, you have to be careful with beans, nuts, seeds, whole grains, cereals. So there are a lot of things you really have to be on top. And basically, here I am in the health and wellness field where Whole Foods, eating whole wheat bread, things of that nature, I thought were healthy. Now all of a sudden the kidney diet is just the opposite. So I'm really screwed up now.
I just have a question, though, because you keep saying you want to expose what you call the kidney dialysis industry. So what are you really meaning by that? Because obviously there's a tremendous amount of people that are told that they have kidney failure and that they need dialysis. And I do believe that can play an important role for people that are suffering. But if they're just doing that and they're misdiagnosing people, then that is an issue. And they're trying to make an industry of something without the proper diagnostics,
science
maybe, and
it,
science, yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's not actually that. What I mean is that when you actually do develop this illness, okay, the industry makes a lot of money off of you. And as one nurse said to me, when she got fired, she finally opened up and said to me, Charlie, the facilities administrator here said to her that you are not here to be a nurse to help the patients and be nice to them. You're here because this is a profit-oriented center.
Oh.
Now, when I heard her say that to me, that was all I needed to know. Everything I had thought about the industry was true. That, everything to do with the diagnostics, with, all the blood testing, well, they have to make their money, but they make a lot of money. And sometimes they do it and do things like in my case where I almost died, where they give you medications to get you sicker, or they don't properly diagnose things the way they should. So they're doing things to really pad their budget. Does this happen with every dialysis clinic? No. But you have to be very careful and very cognizant of what goes on in any clinic to make sure that they're doing right by you.
Well, Charlie, we hear about all different facets of the health industry where it's really just a racket and it's a scam. The pharmaceutical company, Big Pharma, they push all these pills that people don't need, and the doctors, some of them, of course, get kickbacks from it, and they line their pockets with it. And so do you think that the same sort of thing is happening in the kidney and dialysis diagnostic industry?
I would answer that question like this. Now, I'm with DaVita, which is the leading dialysis center that's out there. I started with them 7 years ago when I told you about my story. When I was with them 7 years ago, the hospital they were associated with in the Hartford, Connecticut area, I had gotten very sick from a peritoneal dialysis situation. So I had a lot of pain in my stomach. I had to go to the hospital. I was there for over 10 hours, and they didn't do a thing for me until finally they had people who knew what they were doing. But I was in pain for so long. So here I am at a hospital associated with DaVita. I had to leave DaVita, go to two smaller clinics that I thought maybe going to a smaller clinic would be better for me. It turned out to be the worst thing because they almost killed me because of misdiagnosis with medications and doing the wrong things. So I had to learn the hard way here. I'm back at DaVita now because I had gotten so sick from a third clinic I was at, and I needed to go somewhere, and I went to the hospital that I originally gone to, and they were affiliated with DaVita, and the nephrologist, the kidney doctor that I met there, the nicest guy you could ever meet, and all of a sudden, and it shows how one person, one situation in your life can turn your whole life around. Now, all of a sudden, I could go to a clinic where I didn't have to feel like people are against me, but they're with me now. And everything that's worked out from that point 2 years ago to right now, my life has turned around incredibly.
Wow.
Excellent.
Well, we're glad to hear that things have turned around for you. Charlie Wachtel, a double kidney failure survivor who escaped death twice from his illness, and he acts as an advocate for fellow kidney patients who feel like there's no voice against the rigid medical community.
Some good information there,
Yes.
Charlie. Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Have a great one.
Wow, it's pretty sad when you put patient health below the bottom dollar.
Yeah, profit.
Yeah.
And there's almost 500,000 people that are basically on dialysis or
450,000.
that's amazing. So some
Unbelievable.
good information there, though. You know,
Mhm.
especially the symptoms part, where if you start feeling some of that
Yes.
stuff, you might want to go get it looked at.
Always listen to your body.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you know, men don't do
Mhm.
that. We think, oh, I'll walk it off. I'll be
Mhm.
okay tomorrow.
Right.
Not always the case.
Yeah. Yeah, when that doesn't happen, pay attention to your body and go try to get the proper diagnostics. Anyway, you're listening to American Medicine Today. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to have more information coming up after the break.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Welcome to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel alongside Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati.
Hello.
So, the health insurance scam continues. Why don't you take it from there?
Well, I believe that the health insurance scam is enormous, but you know, I believe that scam is created by Obama. Obama brought practically the health insurance to their knees with false pretense of promises saying that they are going to cost less, they're going to be better services,
Right.
they are going to be access. All these are lies. They don't cost less. They cost 7 times more. They are not access. Now, if you want to go, somebody to see you for a fingernail problem, yeah, you can go. But if you have a need in a specialist, these type of a program, some of these programs, they don't have specialties. So they are moving to a socialistic type of medicine where it's going to be served by nurse practitioners and by family physicians. And when you need a specialist, it's going to be so radical the necessity, and those individuals are going to be so overwhelmed with waiting lists that when you arrive there, probably you are not going to need it anymore, or you're going to be like in the VA. When you go, the family cancel the appointment because the patient died.
Right.
Well, or they report that you're dead and you're actually not. That happens all the time too.
But the reason for this topic is health insurance claims are being denied left and right. It's unfair, it's wasteful, and it's error prone. And one of the things that surprised me, I had no idea about this. In 1987, the Supreme Court ruled in Pilot Life vs. Dudo, yeah. And it said, if the health insurer screws up a claim for the insured, even if it results in death or catastrophic injury, they're out of luck and they can't receive any damages.
Well, that is exactly what is a dirty political arena. This is nothing more than the dirt of Washington, D.C. and on the states, on every state.
Right.
What they do is they create a monopoly in each state. This monopoly makes practically the insurance company totally irresponsible if they want to be responsible. And they are not accountable.
Okay, but with that ruling that I just gave you, it says Americans who get their health insurance by paying on their own through government as employees or Medicare recipients, they can sue for damage. But if you get it through your employer, as a private employer, you can't sue for damages.
Like everything, once again, everything that is government is being protected. So you have bad service, bad individuals, you have horrendous amount of low-class professionals, and they are protected, and they can sue if you are being not treated right. But if you go to the quality service, then you have no rights.
What do you think is going to happen with specialists, Doc? Because, especially people coming out of school, high school even, that want to get into medical school, they're being directed rather away from specialties into becoming a general practitioner. So, I mean, look forward 20, 30 years from now, there won't be any specialists.
Well, the major trouble is American medicine, as I always toot that horn, is the best medicine in the world because it's not a medicine directed to the low class service. And I'm not saying that the individuals that they are doing internal medicine or private nurse practitioner type of work and things like that, I'm not saying that they are dumb or they are not useful. The problem is the American medicine is based on specialties. So the people is accustomed to go to the yellow pages or to the computers or to Google or whatever it is and look for a specialist, evaluate that specialty and that specialist, and then go there. That is going to disappear. You're going to need to go to a GP, and the GP is going to do something for you. It's going to give you pills. That the next thing that happens is an incredible profitable type of solution for the pharmaceutical industry, because it's going to be the era in the United States of pill pushers, that they're going to be the GPs and the nurse practitioners. And we're
already seeing that. It's already happening.
Exactly, it's already happening. And the worst part of it is so easy now for the for the pharmaceutical industries go in television and tell you what you need to take, and then these people now go to a doctor and tell him, I need this medication because. Right. Well, the major problem with that is that the people is going to be dying or being sick.
I was reading just recently in the past day or so that there are more deaths from prescription pills, accidental deaths, not even people abusing the pills, even though we know people do that too.
Yes.
There's more deaths from prescription pills than there are from heroin, cocaine,
car accidents,
heart
attacks.
It's unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talk about all these things. Now, it's enormous amount of people that they are taking opiates. And these people that are taking opiates are committing practically acts of overdosage. And the worst part of it is you are being, the patient's being overdosed, and if you are lucky to be recovered instead to die,
they put you back on it.
Then it seems to be that in around a month or so, the same practitioner keep giving you and same medication again.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a topic that we could continue at another time because
Absolutely.
it in of itself, opiates and over usage and prescriptions, it's going to continue.
But insurance company will need to change the direction. And one of the companies that I see that they are intelligent moving in that direction is United Healthcare.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue that discussion on another week. That about wraps up the program. If you or someone you know suffering with neck, back, or sciatic pain, reach out to Bonati at Bonati.com and check us out on Bloomberg Saturdays and Sundays and WFTS here in Tampa. Bye-bye.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.